Hey, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises and all the glory goes to Yah Bashim Shah. A double honor to my apostles and elders, a great millstone. And Shalom to the elect. Um, I just want to grab a couple precepts um, just pertaining to slavery, and the transatlantic slave trade and understanding the curses that was placed upon Israel and how today you're able to pinpoint who's who. Well, when you read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and the 28 and 68 verse, and understanding, well, first and foremost prophecy, and understanding that the things that are written, well, in the whole book, but specifically in the 28th chapter, those curses were going to be on, the children of Israel unto this day, unto this very day, you know. And yeah, contrary to popular belief, is those rats over there in Israel, uh, Israelis, shall I say, or Jewish people, like to liken themselves to be, or like to, call themselves or think of themselves to be the children of the Most High. But when you read the Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, just specifically, because there's many more other prophecies that haven't come to pass, um, and have come to pass that just do not fit them. But just more so in the 28th chapter, it's just nothing fit them, and particularly, excuse me, the 68th verse when it speaks about. Let me just get it. Uh, Deuteronomy 28:68, it says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way thereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. It says, and Yahweh, that's the Lord's name, shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So when you go into the Hebrew is Montezarian, but the Greek Egyptos, which means bondage, and that's basically what that represents. And that Egypt is in America, and spiritually. I mean, a lot of the customs and a lot of the ways and belief systems and just their overall practices. As you can see today, they practice those things. You look on the back of your dollar. You look within the the district. Certain architecture is pretty much dedicated to those ancient philosophies that are Egypt. So that represents here in Babylon. AKA America. It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and that is the our homeland. Speaking about Israel, the actual landmass, and I mean that's another cut as far as the individuals that are out of there, the Amalek, um, those what's Sephardic or Ashkenazis, you know, which are biblically Edomites that are over there in that land. Now you do have some of Israel all across the world, and of course there's going to be some that are over there, and then you have some individuals or some of some of Israelites that basically woke up to who they are and felt as though or were told as though they were supposed to go over to that land, but that's just totally off. When you go to 64, it says, "And Yahweh shall scatter thee among the people from one end of the earth even into the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods with neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone." So, predominantly here in the Americas, here in North America, the majority of Israel is here, but all over scattered through all out the world, you have Israel, even in the actual land of Israel as of right now. But back on 28, it says, "Thou shalt see it no more again." That's of course, Israel. "And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So no man shall save you, and you should be sold. So I mean, when first and foremost, well, you should be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man should buy you. And what I want to harp on and look at is and no man shall buy you, meaning no man shall save you. And what people like to think, as these so-called, just harping on the the southern kingdom, but this applies to the to the whole nation. Um, when you look when the Civil War took place, and Abraham Lincoln was, I guess, praised for his I guess his efforts, or not even efforts, but just his I guess passing of the bill or decree, or whatever you want to call it, to set slaves free. Now, when you look at the surface of it, or well, I'll say this: when you look at the surface of it, when you just scratch the surface, that's what you will get. That's what you'll see. But when you go into certain things, like when you look these words up, and you just kind of get a brief overall overlook of why things were done. When you look at certain statements or comments people have made, you see the agenda behind certain things. And what it is they think we stupid at the end of the day, and they think we not gonna put two and two together. They think we not gonna look this stuff up, you know, and they think it's just gonna be that, and then that's just it. But little do they know. So emancipate. It says, set free from control, from the Latin emancipatus, past participle. It says of emancipare, put a son out of paternal authority, declare someone free, give up one's authority over. It says in Roman law, the freeing of a son or a wife from the legal authority of pater families to make his or own way in the world, from assimilate, from X out away, CX emancipate, deliver, transfer or sell, from emancipatum, ownership. Now, what I want to focus on is exactly what the deliver, transfer, or sell. Now, let's go back. Hold on, it says not use Romans in reference and free slaves. So let's go back. So when you read in Deuteronomy 28 and 68, it says, "And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, no man shall save you." You listen, Abraham Lincoln did not save you. You are still in slavery. You know, the conditions may not be as harsh. You know, you may have a little bit more freedom. You know, you can do more things. You can get into more stuff. I'll say that. Um, but you're not free. You know, you have a social security, you have a birth certificate, like you are owned. You were never set free, you know. You're just given a little bit more freedoms. And when you get, whenever you get some time, just go into it, go into the account and understand and just kind of read what was going on, in the country at that time and why those moves were made, you know. Um, let me see. I'm gonna just read. It says, by contrast, the southern economy was based principally on large farm plantations that produced commercial crops as cotton, and that relied on slaves as the main labor force. Now, what I did was I went in and looked at the purpose of the Civil War and what were they actually fighting over. What was actually going on, the just socially, politically, and economically, at that time. And this kind of went into it. This kind of gave you pretty much a rough synopsis of what was going on. It says slaves and produced commercial crops for cotton, and that relied on slaves as the main labor force rather than invest in factories or railroads as Northerners had done. Southerners invest their money in slaves even more than in the land. By 1860, 84% of the capital invested in manufacturing was invested in the free non-slave holding states. Yet to Southerners, as late as 1860, this appeared to be a sound business decision. It says the price of cotton, the South's defining crop, has skyrocketed in the 1850s, and the value of slaves, who were, after all, property, rose uh, 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 com- com- commen- uh, commensurately. Excuse me if I pronounce that right. It says by 1860, the per capita wealth of Southern whites was twice that of Northerners, and 3/5 of the wealthiest individuals of the country was Southerners. So when just looking at it, just I guess just from this point of view, um, understanding Edom, Esau, and the type of spirit that they have on them. It's just, they a bunch of selfish people, man. Selfish, evil, wicked people. So even amongst themselves, it, one wants more than another, you know. And of course, there's nothing new underneath the sun. But just as, economically what was going on at that time, the division is one, the certain states, I think it was like 11, I believe it was 11 states that were, yeah, it was either 10 or 11 states that actually, that was fighting against those northern states, was pretty much just, withholding or didn't want to give that up, because these are wealthy individuals, and the majority, I mean, this is free labor we're talking about, and here you had another northern states investing in you know uh, 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 um, factories, railroads, and just expanding, and they were just doing things different. And I guess how it was just a lot going on. I'll just say that, and just basically the point is, man, like these this guy here. Let's look at the comments because they said a comment that was made by him, and they said it was a meme. They was take see that's the thing they like to say that is taken out of context, but even when you go back to read it, you still it ain't no changing what he said. It says if I could save the Union without freeing any slaves, I would do it. And they basically said he took it out. Whomever posted that took it out of context. But when you go down here and read it, it says, just to jump down to the point, um, fact check Lincoln statements. You can look this stuff up. It says my paramount object in this struggle is to save the Union, and it's not either to save or destroy slavery. It says if I could save the Union without freeing any slaves, I would do it, and if I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that. I mean, you see, you gotta. I mean, this is ultimately, a double-minded man. And the scriptures, speaks about uh, uh, a double-minded man. Matter of fact, let's see if I can look that up because you dealing with individuals like this, you know. I'll just say you full of shit, man. You know, uh, double-minded man. Man, my shit ain't working. Excuse me. Uh, double. It makes. Let me see. John 9, 7, yeah. James. Yeah, James 1:8. It says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. I mean, that was kind of the point, you know. But just ultimately, man, Abraham Lincoln was a devil. It's as simple as that, man. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, just like I said, more so to the Southern Kingdom. Uh, well, like I said, actually to all of them, all to the tribes. Um, this pertains to you, and it ain't no running away from it. You know, there's no running away from who you are. You know, and the only way to get away from this, is just accepting it and repenting, and coming back to the Lord, man. Coming back to your true heritage, to who you really are. Waking up, you know, smelling the coffee as this world says, and just dealing with truth, you know, and accept everything that's happened, and try to correct yourself, and that's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Having faith in him, you know, doing his will, doing what you told, you know. But with that, I mean that's just basically the point, man. Like, we you ain't free. We ain't free, you know. Deuteronomy 28:68 is still live in effect. So with that, all praise and glory, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, double honors to the apostles, elders, great millstone, and shalom to the elect.